It's better to have 500 real people than 5 million people who stayed for a minute and never came back. Hi everyone, it is Alex. Welcome to Guiding Creatives, the community where I help creatives thrive by leveraging the gig economy. You may be looking for financial freedom, time, energy, capacity, mentorship, community, whatever you're looking for. That's what Guiding Creatives is about. You know, this podcast has a bit of variety because I like to talk about just creativity. I like to talk about freelancing, client work, all that. And today it's going to be a little bit more of a chit chat. And I'm going to slow down speaking because I'm from Newfoundland. If you don't know where that is, my grammar's going to be weird. I'm going to speak fast, and sometimes I'm going to have a very strong accent when I'm, ranting. So be ready for that. But I want to talk about something today I think a lot of people can relate to, unfortunately. And I'll give you a couple of examples right out the gate so that you get what I'm talking about. So the title that is what this is being organic in an inorganic world, or being authentic in an inauthentic world. Anybody who is in a creative space or freelancing, you've experienced this, okay? Like we've experienced this. What I want to talk about is when you are offering a genuine service and you're pricing it and you're putting in the work for real results. And there are people who are doing it the cheap and easy way just to make a buck with no real results. So we've been seeing this actually a lot more in courses that people offer. So people do like social media management courses, virtual assistant courses, which it's just a money grab. It's just a money grab. Some of them are sincere, but it is saturated with people who are just regurgitating information about algorithms that change all the time. It's not personalized to you. It's not really as useful as you would like it to be. Now, this isn't for everybody. I want to say this isn't about everybody, but we've seen, the insincere coaches. I've had a lot of experience in this in Pinterest and YouTube management. So if you know anything about Pinterest and YouTube, it's evergreen content. It's long-term. It's search-based. It's not just social media. It's search-based. The thing about search-based content is it takes a while. You have to be patient. You have to put in the work. It takes a while. We've all seen the YouTube channels that got the bots, that give them all the views and the subs, and people pay for monetization, which is ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, it is going to cost you in the long run. You can lose your channel, but more importantly, it might pay for your monetization, but guess what? You're not going to make any money because it's not organic, and I'll explain why. Let's talk about the impact of inorganic work, and let's use YouTube for an example. So if you're on YouTube and you pay for these followers, these subscribers, it's not often bots anymore. It's these like engagement groups. People have a bunch of people in a certain area or wherever. They're also paid, probably pennies, to go watch your video. Now, these people are staying on long enough to get you a view, but not long enough for anything else. Right away, how you can tell that there's inorganic traffic is, one, if you have a random growth in views or whatever, and it doesn't measure up with like interactions, engagements, all that. But more importantly, you look at your retention rate. And often the retention rate is going to be garbage because these people are just clicking on long enough to get you a view and they're leaving. And this is going to mess up your stats completely. But more importantly, your RPM, I think it's like rate per minute, whatever it is, it's like how much you get paid when you're monetized, is going to be garbage because you barely have people watching. You're not going to make any money because the people that were hanging out for a minute, which whatever rate you're going to get there, are gone after a minute. Like, you're not going to make any money. Getting monetized and paying for that is not going to make you money. And that's what people don't realize. Like, people think that AdSense works when you get in. It's just like a constant flow of money, but that's not how it is. You get paid based on the success of your video. You get paid on retention. You get paid on, how many people are actually watching your video. So when you're doing this thing where you're paying and people are dropping off, it's saying it's not a good video. So when you do organic SEO, that's when your search is reaching the target audience. So that's when you get a good click-through impression from that. When people are finding your video from external sources or whatever, they're probably not your target audience. You're just confusing your channel. Like, you are confusing it. It digs you into this deep hole you have to get out of. But why people do it is because when you do work for somebody that doesn't appear in like a month or more, like for Pinterest, it could be 6 to 8 months. It could be a year before it takes off. And I've worked with clients who have stuck that out with me. We have amazing success. I've had clients that have quit, and guess what? Theirs is still growing months later after they quit because I already did the groundwork. But if they would have stuck with it, it would have converted better. toot my own horn. But people do this because instead of producing a end product at the end of whatever work you do and saying, this is going to take some time, this is the work I've done, you need to trust the process, they have these numbers. They have these extravagant numbers to say, I did this for you in a week. That's not real. It's not real. And the next thing I wanted to segue this point into is that this has had a horrible impact on my service and my brand. What happens is when I do this work for people, when I do the work, I think I'm doing a good job at explaining how the platform works when I deliver, when we start, in my gig descriptions, all of that. But they often just breeze past that. And they think that it's instant because people don't understand SEO. They don't understand how this works. And that's okay. But a lot of their assumptions come from other things they've seen. They think it can be instantaneous. They think an expert can solve all their problems. Nobody wants to play the slow game because we have tricked people into, making money fast, get rich quick schemes. And that goes back to this social media manager coaching. You coach people, you say you're going to land your first client in a week, you're going to get paid $10,000. You are going to be miserable if you get a super high paying client and you're not prepared because it is hard work out there. And I think it's not right to present things as a get rich quick scheme. So freelancing, let's say it right now, not a get rich quick scheme. Does it give you freedom? Does it give you options, opportunity, amazing life if you stick it out? Absolutely. But I will go into it one day. I started from the very bottom and it was tough. It was a lot of long nights. It was tough. But people like to skip over that, right? They try to skip it and they don't realize the lasting effects. They don't realize the unrealistic expectations that they're having. Because they see people out here doing it. They see people out here getting views overnight. And some of that is organic. But it's sometimes just the luck of the draw, and sometimes it's just the content they're putting out there, right? So it's had a very big impact on me because I've had to, deal with people trying to get their money back or people saying, oh, you didn't do anything. And it's like, I did. And if you just wait, if you just have some patience, check back in with me. I actually had a client reach out to me a few weeks ago, so kind. He reached out and he was like, listen, I just wanted to let you know that the work you did for me a month ago, it's really showing. I'm so happy with it. And that also helped me because it gives me imposter syndrome when people are like, well, this person can do it for this price and get me this many likes in this much time. I'm like, am I really not understanding it? Maybe I'm actually uneducated, but I'm not because I put in the work. I do the coursework. I have proof. But it makes you doubt yourself, right? So I don't want to end that on a negative note, but this is how I protect myself. And this is how I'm going to protect myself as a freelancer, as a freelancing coach, as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, as a, community member to my creatives. I try to be as authentic as possible. I'm going to be real with you always. And if something's going to take a long time, if it's going to take a lot of hard work, I'm going to tell you that. But what I've learned on how to protect myself is do that up front. Now when people message me about YouTube SEO or about Pinterest, I have both of these things. I have a document that outlines how this works, an explanation of what I would do and what the payoff will be and how long. I give them some timelines, things like that. And I also have this quick response that says, this is organic SEO. This is organic work. What I do is this. It'll take this long to show. If you've had inorganic work before, or if you have someone offering it, this is what happens to your channel, your Pinterest. This is what happens to you. And this is why I don't offer that. So if you're willing to take a risk on that, it's not with me. So I make that clear up front as soon as people message. Now, some people place orders without messaging you first. That's the thing. If you're on Fiverr, it's a good thing, sometimes. I don't have the mental capacity to inbox people all day long. I've already tried to set some boundaries with that. So you have to be able to protect yourself in this situation. So what I do is I make sure when they place the order, when they talk about the order, when I deliver the order, every step in that process, I make it clear that this is what I did. This is why it works. This is how long it takes to work. But I've also started to include that the inorganic way does this, but this is how it hurts you. Because Pinterest, impressions, you can get impressions. You can get impressions. You can pay somebody to be your Pinterest manager, and they will pay somebody to either promote your pin or pin it to their popular profile. And you'll get a bunch of impressions, which will be oh my God, I'm getting all this exposure. But this is not your target audience. There's no conversion. It's empty. It's when people pay for Instagram followers. It's empty. You need that actual connection. It's better to have 500 real people than 5 million people who stayed for a minute and never came back. And we don't value that the same, which is just crazy, which I hope we can break out of that. I think we're moving towards a more authentic route. So I do like to have hope there. But if you're feeling the pressure of people, doing cheaper work and doing more and like people pushing against you for that, you just need to make sure that you set yourself up as an expert, get educated, make sure you are sure of yourself, because confidence in yourself and your work is needed, because people will make you feel like an imposter here. People will make you doubt yourself. I need you to stand up against them. I need you to stand up for yourself. I need you to explain how it works. I need you to show case studies. So as soon as you have some case studies, that's also something I have. I have my Pinterest clients and my YouTube clients. I show the growth. I can show on their analytics. I can show when their SEO kicks in and you just see it spike up. And there's a bunch of flat lines right before it. I'll even put one here on YouTube. You see this like waiting period of nothing happening, and then it's just like boom. And that is how SEO works. It's so bizarre. People think you can do it overnight. If you do it overnight, it's going to cost you. I've worked with clients who have inorganic views. I've reset their like profiles, and it takes them way more time. So you're thinking you're investing in this good thing for yourself. You're costing yourself more time, energy, money, and capacity. Like, it is not worth it. It may have been worth it a few years ago when people didn't know the difference, when there wasn't so much saturation, when there wasn't so much competition, like when there wasn't so much, algorithms looking for these certain things. But we're at a point now where people want you to be real, and you have to be real, and you should be real. For me, guiding creatives, this is also like a coaching. Like, I'm going to coach you to be a freelancer. I'm going to have paid memberships and like things like that. I want to make sure that it's not just you're logging on to see your recording and that's all you get from it. Like, I want to make sure that there's enough that when you pay for it, you are benefiting from it every day that you are in it or with it or sign up for it. I want to make sure that I'm working for you. You're paying me, I'm doing work for you. I'm not teaching you and never talking to you again. I'm not teaching you and not personalizing it. I am being one-on-one, authentic, real, helping you. And it is going to be a difficult slippery slope to kind of combat that imposter syndrome here, because there is a lot of shady people out there. But so if you're on YouTube, my camera just cut off. But if you're a real one, you will always be a real one, and that will always keep you up at the end of the day. So thank you so much for listening, watching. If you have any topics you want to talk about, reach out to me and the links below. And yeah, stay organic, stay authentic, stay creative.